Hey, welcome to Analog Output. Got a new module to show you. This is the Add Noise Drum. It's a drum module. It makes percussive sounds based on tones or noise. And you can see it's got lots of knobs, quite a few jacks. I'll run through these for you and give you an idea how this works, and then we'll take a look at a demo. So to start with, you've got a trigger or gate input here. There's a sensitivity knob. In the past, I've sometimes had problems with inputs like this where maybe you've got kind of a sloppy gate going in and it tries to trigger on both the rising and the falling edge of the gate. The idea here is you can turn up the threshold to set a more stringent requirement if it's triggering when it shouldn't be triggering, or conversely, if it's not triggering when it should be, you can lower that threshold. Aside from that, the stuff on the left is the tone section. It produces percussive sounds based on tones. In here, there's a voltage-controlled oscillator, there is a voltage-controlled amplifier, and there's two decay envelope generators, one for the oscillator and one for the amplifier. So the oscillator, you have a knob to set the initial frequency, and then a frequency decay time and decay depth. So this controls how the envelope generator affects the tone. It will start at a higher tone and decay to a lower tone, which is something that acoustic drums often do. And this just sets how long it takes for that decay to occur, and this sets how much of a frequency change you get from that decay. There's also a frequency control voltage here with an attenuator, which will affect the frequency as well. There's also an amplitude decay time knob here. This is just the controlling the amount of time it takes to go from loud to silent. And that's the knobs. There's also a couple of jacks here labeled send and receive. So what's happening normally is the oscillator goes directly into the amplifier, but the output of the oscillator appears on this send jack, and the receive jack goes into the amplifier. So what you can do is you can run a cable from here to some external filter or wave folder module, something like that, take the output of that and put it here. And then what you've done is you've inserted that filter or that wave folder or something between the oscillator and the amplifier in the tone section here. Now on the other side, you've got similar set of knobs, but these are controlling the noise section where we have sounds based on white noise. So there's a white noise source in here, there's a voltage-controlled filter and a voltage-controlled amplifier, and two more decay envelope generators. So once again, similarly to the other side, we've got an initial frequency cutoff for the filter here. We've got a cutoff decay time and cutoff depth here. So you're going to get a filter sweep from high frequency to low frequency on each trigger, depending on these knob settings. And again, there's a cutoff control voltage here with an attenuator. And there's an amplitude decay knob here, again, controlling how long it takes to go from loud to silent for the noise pulse. And again, there's a send and receive jack. This time the send jack is coming out of the white noise source, and the receive is going into the voltage controlled filter. So again, you could apply some effect to the white noise, or you could just substitute something else for the white noise. If you have some external noise source you want to use instead, you could just plug it into here without using the send jack. And that produces our noise pulse. So we've got a tone pulse, a noise pulse. We can mix the two here with this knob, and the mix of the two appears on the output. The tone section is based upon the analog drum module from Barton Musical Circuits, with some modifications, including the addition of the sensitivity knob and the send and receive. There's also a number of components where I changed the component values to get results that I liked better than in the original. The white noise source is based on the Music from Outer Space noise cornucopia white noise source. The voltage controlled filter comes from the LM13700 datasheet. The rest of it is modeled on stuff from the tone side. It all goes together on 4 circuit boards, 2 here and 2 here, and that's the module. So let's take a listen to it, see what it'll do. Okay, that is the Add Noise drum. And if you want to experiment with that, there's a link in the description below for a Git repository that has the schematics and the design files and the Gerber files, and it's all open source. You can do with it as you like. That's on GitLab. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, a long time, and there have been some changes since then. I've switched over from GitHub to GitLab. I've also stopped using WordPress for my blog. I now have my own website at richholmes.xyz that includes the continuation of the analog output blog, as well as some static web pages describing my synthesizer modules. Take a look there. I am continuing to use YouTube, but I'm also trying out a site called Diode Zone, and you might want to take a look at that. I'll put links in the description that will get you to all the various social media, etc., sites where I make my presence known. Have a look at those. One really exciting new development is the Kosmo modules wiki. This has just started up in the past few weeks, and it's intended to be a database of all of the known Kosmo modules that various people have designed and built. There's roughly about 150 Kosmo modules listed on that site now, and still more being added. So check that out. I think it's really interesting. That's the state of things. So hope you enjoyed taking a look at that drum module. Have a bit of fun playing with it and making your own and coming up with modifications of it if you want to, and let me know what you come up with. And I will see you next time on Analog Output.